Hello and welcome to the show. I am back on Forza Horizon 4, today going to be building another car to take on the hill climb stage, and the vehicle of choice is a Mazda Mx-5. Yes, the original Mx-5, and a car which, let's face it, does actually stand a pretty damn good chance of going quick. I don't know if it can beat the Lotus. I'll be honest, I don't know if it stands a chance against the 340R as such, but it does stand about as good a chance as anything. It might be one of the best chances we have of getting close to that 340R, because, well, it starts off in D class, which means a lot of PI for upgrades. We can, importantly, get a body kit on it, which will mean very, very wide tyres, which are good for running up the hill climb stage, which are, well, very good indeed for running up the hill climb stage. So let's go and put on the race compound tyres, make them as wide as possible, 275s at the front. So these are much, much bigger tyres than we had even on the Lotus. These are massive tyres we get on the car, 275s at the front, 295s at the rear. That is good news. That is very good news indeed for me. We will have the Forza front bumper. We want the Forza aero parts simply for the downforce. You know, while we could have that, for example, while we are allowed to put these bits and pieces on the wide body kits, we need the Forza aero parts for the additional grip. Now, we might probably not bother with any of them. As I say, we might come back. We might come back for a lighter bonnet if somewhere along the way we have a PI or so on to find. We will want brakes. We will want the race suspension. And we will want all of these anti-roll bars and so on. Now, the concern, of course, with the Mx-5 is potentially power. It might not get that much power to take it to the top of A class. In fact, it's unlikely to take very much at all. The Lotus had about 210, but it was around 1,400 pounds. So, significantly lighter than the Mx-5. Now, the rules for this... Wait, cry. It's a big jump. The rules for this series regarding the engines and so on, I'm not allowed to swap the engines in a car unless it is required to get to the top of the class. Now, the Mx-5 is not going to require an engine swap to get to the top of the class. In fact, we're not going to... we are going to get a fair amount of power in here. It's going to be about... yeah, 257 is probably where that's going to be at. I don't think we're going to be able to get any more on. We'll just focus on dropping out weight where we can. Now, sometimes, doesn't always, depends on the vehicle, sometimes upgraded gearbox can drop the PI, which I will go for, because that might actually allow me to stick those pistons in it. And it does indeed, up 263 horsepower, 215 torque. So yeah, a little bit more powerful than the Lotus, but we are a bit heavier. Although again, on the flip side of that, again, we've got the much bigger tyres, which is nice. Can I actually go... ooh, can I go full on with the drive line? I can. I might as well with that. And then I can't with the clutch. The clutch is not much... doesn't make much difference when you're driving manual with clutch like I do, so we'll go flywheel instead. It's not quite under 2,000 pounds, but yeah, 263 horsepower, 215 torque at pretty much dead on 2,000 pounds. I mean, it stands a chance. It does stand a chance. Small, very light, very big tyres should be good, theoretically. Who knows, though, if it really can keep up with that Lotus. So, here we are at the start of our hill climb stage with the Mx-5, where I shall be having 3 attempts to run up the course as quickly as possible. Now, the target time and the one where, well, we might possibly be able to get close to it. So 123.6 the time set by that 340R. So 24.9 by an Evo 6 in second. Now, I am hoping, theoretically, the Mx-5 should probably find itself around that sort of area. That is the theory. That is the theory, at least. It doesn't have the all-wheel drive traction, of course, of the Evo, but it does have, you know, a pretty mighty power-to-weight ratio, very, very big tyres. It's pretty grippy. Cold rear tyres, and I mean, it is sliding around a little bit. Not going to lie here, it is a little bit on the slightly more wiggly side, which is not the... I say it's not terrible. It's not terribly wiggly. However, there is a couple of occasions here where I'm a little wary about getting to full throttle, or if I do go to full throttle, we're going to be just sliding the car around. How late dare we brake over the crest? Quite nice and late through all of that. There's again the faintest little thought of oversteer. We'll be flat through there, no problem. I mean, some vehicles we have to deal with that corner essentially with some cars. In this, it is not a corner that you really need to worry about. Just put your foot down and go for it. Again, carry good speed around another hairpin. There are just 2 more turns left on this course. I think we're doing okay for time, but it's certainly not 340R beating time at the moment as we round the penultimate corner. One last turn to go here. We will slide our way out the other side of it by the looks of things, up towards the finish line. Okay. I mean, it's a quick enough first run, 126.5, but we are a fair bit down on where I would like to be. Certainly, if we want to be... Well, we're not going to be beating the 340R, not with that as a first run. I think there's some time to be found, but not enough. So, we are needing to find some speed out of the car. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to. Like, it's a decent enough vehicle. However, I kind of built it up hoping we might be able to certainly go toward the top with this, but I'm not sure we're going to find... I'm not sure we're going to find the speed that is required to make it work, essentially. So, first couple of corners, yeah, we have got slightly... I mean, in Horizon, tyre temperature is not so much a big thing, but it is slightly noticeable on the first corners that will move around just that little bit more than later on, and I think I've run a little too deep through here. That's not great news for the Mazda. Now, we can't be flat out through here, but we can still carry, I'm hoping, good speed. Some bravery through the mid-corner. Okay, I cannot actually be flat there. That's surprising. Surprising it doesn't have as much turn in as I was expecting it to, almost. It did not want to... We've had a couple of cars that can kind of go flat out through there, or generally if it's going to be the fast handling cars, they'll be flat through there, although you'll often take a little lift just because it sets the car up nicer for the exit. This I don't even have the option of being flat through. We just do not quite have as much front end grip as I was expecting. That does really, really surprise me from this car. There is just not quite the grip available. This has not been a good run for the MX-5. This has been a little too slippy, a little too slidey, and just a little bit too wonky, I think, to get a good time out of the vehicle. That's the final corner for the Mazda. Actually ends up as a similar time. I think I got final section quite nicely, but yeah, very, very similar. Very similar times indeed from the car. Well, I'm going to need to do better. I'm going to need to find something for this final attempt. Well, this is it. The final run, the final chance for the MX-5 as I'm looking... I mean, ideally, I'd like to be able to find half a second. I'd like to get into the 25s. And honestly, I wasn't expecting it to be that much of a problem. I was, thinking this was going to be a very, very competitive car. It's quick. Do not get me wrong. It is quick up here, but it is certainly not top of the table quick. Or very top of the table. I think it's going to not really be able to get into the podium positions. The F-pace was in a low 25, if I remember correctly, or a high 24. We are not going to be getting that sort of speed up here. The MX-5 is just not quite fast enough. I can throw the car, I say we'll throw the car, because I think throwing the MX-5 around too much is actually going to slow us down here. It is not quite as stuck to the road as I was hoping from the vehicle. It's, good. It is good to drive, but there is an overall lack of grip that I wasn't expecting to get from the car. I mean, I'm trying to take that corner as quick as I possibly can. I don't know whether... I mean, it was kind of quicker. It was kind of a little bit faster through there. I went for the upshift a slight bit early almost. Now, we have got a nasty tightening hairpin. It's not really posed much problems to the MX-5. Be as brave as we dare on the way in. Try and make the corner as... Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, I'm pleased with this run so far. Like, if we're going to have this do-or-die final run, this has been pretty good so far, although that hairpin we're a little wide on. We'll still just about get away with it on the exit. One more turn to go for the Mazda. Don't slide. on the way through here. There's a little bit of moving around from the car. Run to the line. That's what I can do with it. That is just all I have to give with the MX-5, a 126.365, and that's your lot. I think I might have fractionally run wide on the way. That felt like a pretty damn good run. The penultimate hairpin, I think I ran a fraction too deep in, but yeah. I just cannot. I think I can't get any more speed really than that out of the MX-5, and that surprises me. That does surprise me. I was expecting, well, more from the Mazda because, well, we're a long way off. We're 3 seconds off that 340R. Okay, 340R we know is a monstrous vehicle. If we take that out of the equation even for a second, we're quite a long way down on the Evo 6, the F-Pace, that are in second and third. The MX-5 will go into a 9th position. It beats the Civic RS, it beats the Miura, but we lose out to the Lotus Esprit, BMW M1, the Exige S, even the NSX are faster than the Mazda. It is just not quite able to get up the mountain as quickly. It's not just the, it's a bit down on power. It's not going to be quite as fast accelerating, perhaps. Although it is lighter, so power to weight ratio is thereabouts. It just doesn't have the grip in the corners that some of these other cars have had. It just physically can't take quite as much speed through these turns. And that does surprise me. That does surprise me indeed. A good fun vehicle to drive, do not get me wrong. A good fun vehicle to drive up that hill climb stage. Perhaps a little oversteering for my personal tastes, but yeah, it just couldn't get up the needle pass any quicker than that. That, though, will be it for this video. As ever, if you have suggestions for vehicles you would like to see run up this course, please do leave them in the comment section below. The most liked comment, most liked vehicle, provided it is something that fits within the class, something I can afford / already own, that shall be run next time out. However, that is going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.